Who do the shit that I do? Shit that
I already have my brows and skincare on. Now we're starting off with a Pretty Vulgar's Illuminator in Shimmering Swan for this brow highlight. Going in with a flat shadow brush and then just really packing this on to my brow bone. Next we're moving on to the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm picking up from their Warm Quad the base shade. I'm grabbing this with my blending brush and working it back and forth into my crease. Going back into the same palette, now moving on to their neutral quad, I'm grabbing their defining shade right in the middle, again with the same brush, and I'm working this into the outer corner of my eye, slowly dragging it into my inner corner of my eye and making sure that I only focus that product in the crease in the center of my eye. Now with the Sephora Collection Dome Shadowed Brush, I am picking up that same shade and really packing that on in the inner corner, making sure that it's fully saturated. In between all these steps, you will be using your blending brush to continue to blend all the edges out. Back with the Kat Von D palette, we're sticking to the Warm Quad again and picking up that brown, which is their defining color. And we are going to pack that over the same areas we've been working on, the inner corner and the outer corner. I find that it works best if I pat the shade onto my eyelid. Then I go ahead and work on blending the edges out. As you see, I'll be moving back and forth with that first blending brush over and over again. Moving on to my MAC brush, I'm picking up from the Cool Quad in the palette, their defining color, which is a fully saturated black. Working that color into my outer and inner corners, and then really carefully attaching those corners in the center, but focusing that color in my crease area. Just to make sure that this look is fully blended out, again, I'm picking up a little bit of the shades I was using prior in the crease section and blending those edges out. Now we're moving on to our matte concealer. I use this one in almost all my tutorials to either carve out my brows or to carve out an eyeshadow look. But I'm going ahead and placing this in the center of my eyes, working this all the way up, slightly past my crease, and really feathering it back and forth. I'm using a synthetic brush and my finger to go ahead and blend those edges out. Now using my blending brush, I'm picking up the transition shades I used earlier in this video and blending the edges out one last time before going in with my Too Faced Glitter Glue, which is, you guys know, is one of my absolute favorite products for eyeshadow. And I'm packing that on with a synthetic brush down the center, exactly where we just applied that concealer. Now for the fun part, we brought our Fenty Beauty Trophy Wife. This is the Killawatt highlighter, but I'm going to be using this as an eyeshadow today, fully focusing this shade in the center of our eyelids with a flat brush. I am picking a lot of that up and just packing it onto my lid. As you guys see, the saturation is completely there. This highlight is amazing. Now I did use the Too Faced eyeshadow primer, which is going to grab a hold of that highlight and really hold on to it and give it its full potential, its full metallic look on my eyelids. Keeping with the Fenty Beauty, I'm going in with the Instant Retouch Primer from their Pro Filter collection. And this is a semi-matte pore diffusing primer. I really like this for a smooth, soft finish. I definitely recommend it for anybody that is oily. And now I am going to go ahead and follow it up with the Pro Filter foundation. And this one is also in a soft matte longwear finish. I'm applying this on my face with a flat foundation brush and then going in with my beauty blender to blend that out. The shade that I am currently using is in 290. I do match into 300, but that is definitely more on my tanner days. As you guys see, my shoulders are darker, but I don't mind going in with that shade at this current moment, only because I know I'll be applying bronzer. If I choose to tan again, then I'll pick up my 300 foundation. I'm using my foundation to clean up underneath my eyeshadows, just so that I can create a nice crisp line. And now I'm picking up one of my favorite products, which is my NARS multi-stick, I believe it's called. And I'm just working that on the outer edges of my face to give myself a really nice chisel before I apply my powder contour over it. The best way I can describe my blending technique for this is to press the product in and then slightly pull it up towards our blush highlight area without reaching our highlight area, making sure that that area stays nice and clean. Now to make this contour a lot sharper, I'm picking up whatever's left of foundation on my brush and cleaning up underneath it. And with Kat Von D concealer, I'm just highlighting underneath my eyes, setting with my very beloved Kat Von D translucent powder. And I prefer this one over the Laura Mercier only because I feel like it continues to keep my brightness underneath my eyes, and I want to carve out underneath my contour one last time. And I'm just buffing it out. Now going in with my favorite, a lot of favorites in this video, Sephora Collection Micro Smooth Powder in the shade 35. I'm going ahead and just giving my skin a little bit of warmth. Bringing Trophy Wife back into the mix, I'm using my highlight brush from Makeup Forever, and as you can see, I was super blown away of how it looked as a highlight on my face. When I swatched it in the store, I knew I was gonna love it. When I put it on my eyes, I fell in love with it, but I wasn't 100% sure how I was gonna like it on my actual cheekbones or on my collarbones and shoulders, but as you guys can tell, I super fell in love with it because I pretty much drenched myself in this. What Trophy Wife doesn't need a Trophy Wife highlight? Using Benefit's Hoola bronzer and my NYX matte bronzer in medium, I'm blending both of those on my cheeks and just giving myself a very nice warmth. I don't have to focus either one of those products as a contour, only because I already contoured my face. Bringing back some more Killawatt from Fenty Beauty, I am using their highlighter in Ginger Binge and Moscow Mule as my blush. I'm starting off with, I believe it's Ginger Binge, and then applying Moscow Mule, which is the more shimmer side, over. I might have the names backwards, but girl, I'm using both shades. That's all that matters. And I'm lightly pulling those shades over my brow bone, which means it's going slightly over the Trophy Wife highlight. Underneath our eyes, going with a smudge brush. Using the black and the browns, I'm applying those two shades on the inner and outer corners of my lower lash line, keeping the center completely clear so that I can apply this Trophy Wife underneath it. I did use some MAC spray to wet my brush so that the highlight can be intensified, but not as intense as the top of my eyes. So it's just going to wet the product lightly and really help apply it. As you guys can see, I applied it almost in a teardrop form, and again, just moving back and forth slightly to create a diffused look all the way down. Using my tapered blending brush, I picked up a little bit of that Pretty Vulgar highlight and just applying that in my inner corner. Setting my face with Too Faced's setting spray. I freaking love this stuff. And moving on to my lips. Some more Fenty Beauty. I think this is definitely one of my favorite products she came out with. Using Gloss Bomb. It is a Rose Nude Universal Lip Luminizer. I freaking love the wand. Love that it's a one swipe application and it feels so conditioning on the lips. Using a new mascara. This one is from Lancome. And then moving on to my Givenchy Waterproof black eyeliner, tight lining, and then doing my waterline only on the inner and outer corner, keeping the center clear, and now just lining the top thinly with my NYX eyeliner and applying some lashes off camera. This look is done.
Who do the shit that I do?